Hello, I hope you can hear me. I just want to test a microphone and then we'll start our class. Anyway, first of all, good morning everyone, and I hope everyone is doing fine. Today, we will continue our discussion on Net English 2023 PYQ explanation, but this time we are going to discuss shift second. In our previous session we have discussed over like 100 questions from shift 1, and it has like 6 or 7 hour sessions we have, and in that we have actually analyzed all the questions in details, also their options, and uh, their extra perk. So we have added that in the class, and as I have mentioned in a previous introductory session, that I will provide everyday lesson for lesson plan. Actually, I was talking about the lesson plan, and like most like 4 or 5 people have already texted me and they have asked for uh, a personalized lesson plan, and I have already given personalized daily plan for people who have asked me in WhatsApp. And in this session I also mentioned in the previous session I mentioned that we will start every class with a story. So today we are going to start with that. And so what I was telling key, we can just move to the our storyline segment, and we'll take one person example, and we'll just talk about his story or her story. And as I said, every great lesson starts with a great story, and today it's like that. So what I would say, like, get your coffee, because today you are in for a treat. So my dear students, my dear viewers, if you're ready to learn, to have some fun, let me know in the comment box and we'll get started right away. And I'll just give you 2 minutes break, just for because I need to set up my computer here. Just 2 minutes. I'll be back, and I'll be back with a story. So I'm here now, and we can start our journey. And in our previous class, as I told you, we have discussed 100 questions, where we have analyzed every single options along with the extra perk whatever we had, and it was like a big course, like 7 hour session, but it is all divided by 1 and 1.5 hour each session. You will find it if you scroll in our YouTube channel. And before that, if you haven't subscribed our channel, you should do it right away, because it's gonna help you so much in many ways, because we are going to be live every day. uh, just for one session, 1 hour session every day will be free, but the others you have to join the course, and for that I have given the link in the description box. You can click and join. Sorry for the interruption. So I'll tell you, we'll start with a story about a boy, or you can say net aspirant. I'll just make it a little bit dramatic. So once upon a time, in the midst of COVID, right? There was at that time there was a lockdown and all, and there was then suddenly exam dates appeared, and we had very little time to prepare. So once upon a time, there was a young and ambitious individual who had set his sights on cracking the net exam and obtaining his dream of JRF. However, he faced a significant challenge, and the challenge was he had very little time to prepare for the exam. And as we know, the syllabus is massive, so big, vast. And the aspirant initially thought of starting from the beginning, and as we know, it's very big. So he started like traditionally what everybody does, and he soon realized that it would be impossible for him to read everything in the limited time he had. And he became demotivated, frustrated, and he was uncertain about where to begin, how to go about. And while he was a little bit demotivated, he was just scrolling down the social media, and what happened, he stumbled upon a quote that caught his attention, and the quote was, history teaches us about the future outcome. And suddenly he had an idea that he decided to apply this principle to his net exam preparation by studying what previous year's exam questions. And what he does, he immersed himself in the process, spending countless hours solving questions and reviewing past paper. As the exam date approached, he felt confident and well prepared. And to his surprise, he found that many of the questions on the actual exam were similar to those he had studied from the previous year preparation. And with a sense of satisfaction and confidence, he completed the exam, hoping for the best. After some time, the results were out, and the boy, the aspirant, was overjoyed to learn that he had passed with JRF. So what the story teaches us, that sometime we don't need to reinvent the wheel. Learning from the past can often help us achieve success in the future. By focusing on past exam papers, all previous year question, the aspirant was able to achieve his dream despite the daunting task of vast syllabus and limited time. And that you can also do. So remember, you have 30 days. Don't think it's very less time to prepare. And for that, we have covered. We have all 2000 plus questions we are going to analyze, and trust me, by the end of this course and this classes, you will be very confident when you appear in the exam. So don't worry about anything. We will just focus on PYQ explanation, and that will be enough for you. Remember the quote that student got: history teaches us about the future outcomes. So if you read history properly, and the consequences of the future you will know before the others. So don't feel disheartened if you haven't completed your syllabus. I know it's really vast, and it will take so much time, and in 1 month, and it's going to be even more difficult to pick a book and then prepare and then find the questions and all. So remember, in this class, what we are going to do, we are going to analyze every single question, and with a detailed explanation, and that we have already discussed in our previous classes. I hope you have watched it. If you are not, you can just go back, scroll down all the videos there related to PYQ, and shift 1 PYQ is there for the net English, and you will know how detailed explanation and analysis is there. We do every single time. We cover at least 20 to 15 questions, 15 to 20 questions in every session. And if you think that is a very less, remember, this is a lot. Even it's like you are covering 20 topics in a single class. So today it's just because we are beginning shift second, so this class will go on like this. But if you want really intense explanation and all, you can get the book. If you don't like the videos, if you don't like to sit down and watch videos, you can get the book. And we have like 4 volume set, and it has from 2020 to 2023, and we have covered 2000 questions in that explanation book. You can get it in all set, or if you really don't want, if you are willing to sit down and watch videos, then you only have to join this course. So from tomorrow we'll just continue again, but today we are going to cover at least 10 to 20 questions if possible, and from tomorrow we'll continue. And remember, this live class will be today it's kind of free, but from tomorrow we'll only post like 5, 3, 5 or 10 questions every day, but not in a series. It will be like jumbled, from any place. But if you want from the beginning to proper organized manner, you can join the course. And remember, you only have to listen this class if you don't want the books. If you really have even like couple of hours to spend for the preparation, you can do that. We will have paper 1 classes and also criticism, because from that place we get at least 40 questions, and for that we'll have separate class. And this is all including in where? In the course in cracking PYQ explanation. So don't hesitate, join it. You're gonna love it, and I'm sure it's going to help you so much. You won't realize now, but when you sit down in the exam hall, you will all remember these questions, and you will say, oh wow, everything I have already studied, we have already discussed, and it will be so easy for you in the exam. So why wait? We have already I have already told you one story, and the story, who's the hero? His name is Karthik. He got JRF and net in just PYQ explanation. So remember, be like Karthik. You don't have to waste your time in reading so many books. You learn the past, you know the future. That is the fundamental way to achieve anything. You will know before the others. So why wait? Join the course, or you can even subscribe this channel to get sometime videos. But for the intense preparation, you can join the course, or you can just buy the book. And also we are not only discussing about criticism and literary theory, but we will also start paper 1 from today itself, and it will be in the evening 4 o'clock. And I want everyone to join. Couple of more classes on paper 1 will be free, and if you are willing to join the course, just go to this description box and subscribe. Anyway, now we will start shift second, and the first question is in your screen and you have to answer. Okay, the answer is already there in the question itself. We will go like this today. and from because today we won't have time to solve much of the, because I've seen very few people are live, and they rarely respond about the question, so we actually lose couple of like 10-20 seconds in between. So today what I did, I just highlighted the answer itself in the question, and in the explanation we'll find the proof why this particular option is correct. Sorry for the notification. Anyway, so what needs my Shakespeare for his honored bones? The labor of an age in piled stones, or that his hallowed relic should be hid under a starry pointing pyramid. So these lines are by John Milton, and it is taken from a poem on Shakespeare, and which was published 1632. Okay, actually it's the folio which was published in 1632 on Shakespeare. Was This is the poem here, and whole poem is there. It is very important poem, and not only once they have asked from that, but you actually I found this question based on Shakespeare, Milton's poem, like 3-4 times in the exam. So that is his whole poem, and we can read about it, and this is all is there in the book. If you really want slow and proper reading, you can get the book. So this is the proof. This line is the opening line from a poem called On Shakespeare by John Milton, whose lifespan was 1608 to 1674. Question number 2 is here. Who among the following praised Chaucer's translation of Roman de la Rose? So the answer is Eustace Deschamps. Boccaccio is also there, but Eustace Deschamps is the correct answer. And why? Because he praised Chaucer for translation of Roman de la Rose. And who was actually contemporary of Chaucer and a poet himself. And he wrote a poem in which he praised Chaucer for his translation of the Roman de la Rose. Note, Boccaccio also praised Chaucer's translation of Roman de la Rose in his work Il Filostrato. Boccaccio praises Chaucer's translation of Roman de la Rose and mention him as one of the leading poets of his time. So both praised Chaucer translation, but our answer is here what? Eustace Deschamps. So remember this. Anyway, correct explanation we have already discussed. Now again, next question is, For the Unfallen is a book of poems by who? For the Unfallen, it is by Geoffrey Hill, and Geoffrey Hill wrote this poem For the Unfallen, and we know he is an English critic and a poet, and For the Unfallen is one of his significant works. That's why they have asked about it, and it was published in 1959. And the theme is faith, morality, and human condition. Question number 4 is here. The Princess a Medley by Tennyson is what? A lyric, an elegy, a dramatic monologue. Why people got confused in the exam? Because they were saying, sir, why not a dramatic monologue? Because Tennyson's poem mostly are dramatic monologue. So that's why they have marked the wrong option. But here is the answer is a narrative poem. And why is narrative poem? Because this is a story about a princess who starts a women's college to prove that women can be just as intelligent and capable as man. And this poem, the Princess and Medley, is divided into 7 parts, or you can say cantos, and it uses a variety of poetic forms like it is blank verse, rhymed couplet, and songs. So remember that tension, it can be confusing question, but remember he also has written a narrative poem. So that's why PYQ explanation is very important explanation, and also you have to solve PYQ as much as you can, and when you do that, what I said, you will know what is going to come, and you will know the importance of the topic, importance of the poem. But when you remember, when you read a book, what happens, you just read everything from the beginning to the end, but you don't realize in exam point of view which topic is more important and which is not, which is to be eliminated, or which is to be pay attention to it. So remember, Tennyson not only wrote dramatic monologue but also narrative poems, and The Princess Amelie is one of the example of a narrative poems where he says that women can be as intelligent as and capable as men. And this book is written in blank verse, sometimes rhymed, couplets, and song, and it is divided into 7 parts, or you can say cantos. And we have question number 5 here. Which of the following is not written by P.B. Shelley? The Mask of Anarchy is actually the early work of P.B. Shelley. Because of that, he had some issues in the college. But anyway, Queen Mab, we know it is a philosophical poem by P.B. Shelley. And The Vision of Judgment was by Robert Southey. And why he wrote about King George III death. It was actually a response of King George III death, and was intended to tribute the king. And it is actually satirical vision of the Last Judgment, and in which the poet imagines king's arrival in heaven and his ultimate condemnation by God. Other explanation, The Mask of Anarchy is actually a political poem by Shelley, and here he talks about Peterloo massacre, and it is a non-violent resistance against oppression. Queen Mab is a philosophical poem, and it is written in 1813. So these options are equally important in net exam, so you have to pay more attention into the options as well, because if in this exam they didn't ask, maybe in this next exam they might ask about this. The Revolt of Islam is a poem by Shelley, published in 1870. And remember, Shelley's life span work is mostly from 1818 to 1822. So in that period he has published some of his masterpieces. Question number 6 is in your screen. In whose poem do the reader meet Aunt Jennifer's tigers? And it was in whose poem actually? It is by Adrian Rich. So Adrian Rich wrote a poem called Aunt Jennifer's Tiger, and it is written by Adrian Rich and published in 1951. It's actually a collection of poem and a change of the world in the poem. Okay, this poem is from a collection of poem called A Change of the World. And in the poem, Aunt Jennifer is depicted as an oppressed woman who expresses her artistic creativity. Anyway, this explanation we don't need. We just have to know that this poem, Aunt Jennifer's Tiger, published in 1951 as a part of the first collection of poem, A Change of the World. Question number 7. Name the playwright who has written Larin Sahib. So it is G.V. Patel, Dina Mehta, or Pratap Sharma, or our answer is Guru Charan Das. And Larin Sahib is actually a novel published in 1987, and it tells the story of two young Hindu and Muslim men who form a friendship in pre-partition India. Question number 8. Who among the following has composed the lyrical drama of Hellas? So it was P.B. Shelley who wrote the poem Hellas, and it is actually a lyrical drama. So what these days an exam ask about the P.B. Shelley's or Lord Byron or Keats dramatic side of, his their dramatic works, because they have been keep asking about the poems before, but now the latest thing is going in the exam is that they are asking the other form of his literary works like drama. Here they are asking about Hellas, Hellas, who wrote this work. It is P.B. Shelley who wrote Hellas. And Lord Byron's, can you tell me a couple of plays by Lord Byron? So there are many. We have we can just find in the later, because they have asked one more question based on that. So William, it is answer is P.B. Shelley, and Hellas is actually a lyrical drama and published in 1822, and it is about a vision of world revolution that would lead to an utopian society. So everybody knows utopia is what? It's an ideal state, and the best example is Thomas More itself, Utopia. And anyway, question number 9 says, name the playwright who composed the play A Woman Killed with Kindness. So it is Thomas Heywood who wrote. Thomas Kidd wrote Spanish Tragedy, and Francis. So here is the character of the work. Anyway, so A Woman Killed with Kindness, it is by Thomas Heywood, performed in 1603, and it is one of the most important plays in Thomas Heywood's bibliography. So remember, it is a story about a girl named Anne, who is actually, it's a woman about she is actually a virtuous and loyal wife, and who is betrayed by her husband John's infidelity with her cousin. And the play actually explored her themes as love, betrayal, forgiveness. And we have some important character in the play, John Frankfurt, who's actually husband of Anne Frankfurt, and he betrays Anne by having an affair with her cousin. And Susan, Anne Frankfurt is our hero in the play, main character. Susan is Anne's cousin, and Wendell, a young man who tries to seduce Anne. Master Chartley, a friend of John's who is involved in Anne's story. And Jane is actually is servant of Anne's. Question number 10 says, name the celebrated actor who played the leading role in the first production of John Osborne. So here they're asking about the actor. Actor is Laurence Oliver, and Laurence Oliver actor is Laurence Oliver, and Oliver played the role of Archie Rice in the play, and a falling music hall performer who struggles to come to terms with his declining career and the changes in British society. And the other actor, why they are important, Peter Brook is a film director known for his not important, just to remember his name. Laurence Oliver, that we know, performed in The Entertainer. Al Pacino is an American actor and filmmaker known for his role in classical such as The Godfather, Serpico, and Scarface. Robert De Niro, The Godfather 2nd. So question number 11, which of the following statement holds true in regard to sentimental comedy? You remember, sentimental is comedies related to Richardson at that age. So sentimental comedy, it is asking about the true statement regarding to sentimental comedy. So So it is a dramatic composition which satirizes the manners and affection of a class. It could be the comedy of manners if the first option is talking about, and another is focusing on a character each representing a personality type. So this could be different. It is not. It is a dramatic composition that depicts how serious young men people take love and how foolishly it makes them behave. And the answer is it is a dramatic composition in which the virtue of private life are exhibited rather than the vices exposed, and the distresses rather than the faults of mankind make our interest in the peace. So this is the answer, and we have the explanation. We know it's an 18th century genre, and it emphasizes a moral virtue of its character, often depicting sentimental situation and emphasizing the importance of domestic life. You remember who's associated with Richardson. Again, here is the quote by Jane Austen. I recognize that its heroine is a little prig and its hero a pompous ass, but I do not care. So it is a statement made by Somerset Maugham about which work? Mansfield Park. So here is the quote. Full quote is: despise his recognition that is his that its heroine is a little prig, a person who is self-righteous and moralistic, and here is pompous as a person who is ignorant and conceited. So Somerset Maugham is actually criticized this work, and we know Mansfield Park is by Jane Austen, and it is published in 1814, and it stories about very important character in English literature, especially in Jane Austen's bibliography. The character Fanny Price is from Mansfield Park, who is sent at a young age to live with her wealthy relatives and at Mansfield Park. So this is another important character is Edmund Buttram family. So one question was there, Jane Austen were about some Bertram family. So that is important, this at least surname Bertram. In which year was R.L. Stevens' Treasure Island published? And it was 1883, and we know it's an adventurous novel by Stevenson and first published in 1883. And remember, the name of the hero is Jim Hawkins, who discovers a treasure map and sets sail to a perilous journey to find a hidden treasure with a group of pirates led by the infamous Long John Silver. The novel is set in the 18th century and is known for its vivid and realistic description that we don't know. Remember, Jim Hawkins on his journey to find legendary treasure of Captain Flint, that they could ask, and there are all the events. I have divided this whole book into a set of events that happens in the book. And remember, the discovery of the treasure map, what he first in the novel he finds, and then he takes the journey to the treasure island, and where he found the mutiny on board the Hispaniola, and he arrives on that treasure island and he battles for the treasure, and then he returns to his home. So that is all the plot happened in the treasure island by R.L. Stevenson. Another question says, which of the following novels is not written by Amitabh Ghosh? So English August is actually by Upmanyu Chatterjee, which is about a coming age story of a man named Agastya Sen, and it is posted who is posted to a small town in the Indian hinterland. Remember, English August Upmanyu Chatterjee and the it follows the life of a civil servant named Agastya Singh. Other explanation we have Sea of Poppies is by Amitabh Ghosh, shot in 1838. India revolves around the Opium War between China and Britain. Flood of Fire. It is a part of the Abyss trilogy by Amitabh Ghosh. Abyss trilogy is quite important topic. Important trilogy by Amitabh Ghosh, and they have already asked questions from the Abyss trilogy. So the question was, which one of these are the part of Abyss trilogy? In our couple of questions we have actually found about the Abyss trilogy. So that's why every option is important, and all the next question will be based on this. So anyway, again, Flood of Fire is talking about opium wars between China and Britain. And Gun Island is also a novel by Amitabh Ghosh. It is about Dean, who meets a stranger who tells him a story about legendary goon said to have magical power. Question number 15 is here. Which among the following is not an American slave narrative? So tell me which one is not. We know the interesting narrative of life of Olaudah Equiano is a slave narrative, and this is quite important work in American slave literature. Life and Adventure of Henry Bibb, narrative of Solomon Northup. Song of Enchantment is by Salman Rushdie, and it is by Song of Enchantment. Song of Enchantment is by Ben Okri, who is a Nigerian author. Something related to enchantment is also written by Salman Rushdie. The Island of Enchantment, something is like that. I can just search if you want. Let me search and clarify this. Anyway, I'll do that. I'll send this in your WhatsApp group. Actually, we have discussed in previous question. So in previous, we'll just find out where is this in other work. Sorry. This word I'll just copy and check it out if it has something related to Amitabh Ghosh. Only two is there. Yes. Song of Enchantment, Song of Enchantment, Song of Enchantment. Again, it is by Ben Okri. So it is not asked in here. Maybe it's asked in 2021. So anyway, the answer is Song of Enchantment by Ben Okri, and the others are slave narratives. And this is a autobiography by Olaudah Equiano in 1789. Life and Adventure of Henry Bibb, it is by Henry Bibb. All are like autobiography. Solomon Northup is also by. So this is all slave narrative in autobiographical manner. Song of Enchantment is a book of poetry by Ben Okri. So who among the following theorists has written on effective economies? So tell me which one do you think? Anyway, the answer is already there. It is Sara Ahmed. Again, in the previous shift one, they have asked about all these, Sara Ahmed and Nigel Thrift also. So Sara Ahmed is has written on effective economies, and She's very important literary theorist in cultural context. Nigel Thrift, we know, is important because of her thrift focuses on which emotion and affects are mobilized in contemporary capitalism. So again, Franco Moretti is also related to cultural studies, and he is associated with literary geography. So again, now here it is asked, they have asked about the Yale critic, and we have to find author which critic does not belong into the Yale critic, and it is Roland Barthes. Who doesn't belong? Roland Barthes. So Geoffrey Hartman, Paul Deman, J. Hillis Miller are literary critics associated with the Yale critic of literary school. We have other school we have mentioned in other questions. Anyway, this movement emerged in 1950s and 1960s. On the other hand, Roland Barthes was a French literary critic which associated with structuralism and semiotics. So again, we have little bit explanation about the Yale critic. Again, when it was founded around 1960s to 1970s, and the group included scholars like Harold Bloom, Geoffrey Hartman, Paul Deman, and J. Hillis Miller. Again, question number 18, we'll discuss 3 more questions and then we'll wind up the class, and we'll continue this tomorrow, and again with the story. And what we are going to do today is paper 1 also, and literary criticism. We are going to discuss these 2 more topics which are actually important in the perspective of our NET exam. So demythologizing is associated term is by Rudolf. It's quite new and we have to remember that. Again, one is similar to that is it is actually a term describes approach to interpreting the Bible, particularly the New Testament. We have question number 19. Who among the following is known as a post-Marxist thinker? So Antonio Gramsci, Theodore Adorno, and Walter Benjamin, they both are related to Marxism, but they are not post. Post is after Marxism. So that is Ernest Laclau. Is actually Argentinian political theorist and who is best known for his contribution to the post-Marxist theory. And couple of theory that he had developed is radical democracy, that emphasized the importance of identity, difference, and contingency in politics. Antonio Gramsci, we know they all are important contributor in Marxist thought, and for Antonio Gramsci we know because of the cultural hegemony and war of possession. Theodore Adorno, we know it's very important figure in Frankfurt School of Critic Theory, and he introduced the mass literature and he also argued about the cultural industry and mass media and popular music. Walter Benjamin, we know because of he is also a German philosopher who is associated with Frankfurt. So whoever associated with Frankfurt School is actually called Marxism School. So the Frankfurt School is actually the group of Marxist literary critic. Question number 20 is the Song of the Earth was published in 2000. So here they have asked about the dates, and no wonder most of the people couldn't answer this because this is quite different question. So Jonathan Bates, the Song of the Earth was published in 2000. Why it is important? Because it shows the relationship between poetry and the environment, and he is actually important figure because he has written on Shakespeare, romantic poetry and eco-criticism. So they could ask about the eco-criticism, and where Jonathan Pate will be one of the options. So that could be. So he also talked about romantic poetry, where he talked about Wordsworth, John Clare, and other. So that was our question number 20, and we'll continue this tomorrow, and also if possible today, but in our course. So remember, if you haven't subscribed, you can subscribe now if you want to like solve with us live. But if you want only books, these all are in printed material. You have to order now because it'll take time to reach to you, at least 6 to 7 days. Before that, it actually comes in between 4 to 5 days. So make sure you either buy the book if you don't want to sit down and listen to the lectures. You can just get the book. Anyway, both the links are there, and if you want to know more about the books, you can just WhatsApp me. And remember, in the beginning of the class, I was talking about the personalized lesson plan, and for each and every one, if you want, you can just WhatsApp me the number that I have given in the description box. There I will provide you a personalized lesson plan according to your time. So don't hesitate, join, and of course reach out to me via WhatsApp. Okay, then have a good day. And one more thing that I wanted to tell, as the dates are out and I was telling you that you should fill your exam form, tell me which did you fill or not. So if you have filled, just tell me in the comment box, and if you're not, you should do it right away so you can start your preparation seriously. So that's what we did. And to wind up what we studied in the beginning, I talked about we started our class with a story, then we talked about how to prepare, and also we talked about all these 20 questions. And tomorrow we'll just continue. And for the paper one, I'll just share the link again today. You can just watch the videos, watch the lecture, and if you like it, you can join. Otherwise, anyway, I'll be keep posting everyday videos. So bye bye, and have a great day ahead, and enjoy learning. Bye bye.